Alright, well, my hair looks nice. Alright, we're back out here working on the V6 Ford tractor project. Done a little work to the motor since the last time you've seen it. Got the water pump, harmonic balancer, and intake manifold on it. New timing cover, oil pan gasket. Haven't got the rear main seal changed yet just because it's still on the stand. I'm working out here in the shop today because it's up to about 12 degrees today. So I got my big heater going and have insulated the shop, or the shed I should say, since the last time I've recorded anything, and it makes a big difference. So I've got a pile of boxes here to go on it. Chinese carburetor, Chinese distributor, Chinese starter probably, and an oil filter adapter of unknown origin. So we might get some of this stuff setting on there. I don't know if I got any bolts for the starter or the carburetor, but might set it on there, see how it looks at least. Got the oil filter adapter there. This motor had some sort of remote mount oil filter on it when I got it, but didn't have the end where the oil filter went on, so this will probably be easier anyways. So get this tightened up and move on to something else, maybe. Here is the carburetor sitting on the engine. It's a 2-barrel, supposed to be made for 70s V8 or 6-cylinder, I guess. It's like a dual jet knockoff. I'm gonna have to trim this linkage off because it hits, but throttle will pull that way, so shouldn't be an issue. Also, I thought this had an electric choke on it, but it doesn't. It's got, I don't know what this is. It's got a port in here for like vacuum or something. So I'll have to figure out how to do that. I might just convert it over to a manual choke anyway, since it's going to be on a tractor and it has a thing to pull on it anyways. So yep, that's how that looks. Real shiny and real Chinese. Alright, got the new starter here. This is like an LT1 style starter, just the smaller small block Chevy starter. Apparently the only difference between this and the regular 4.3 starter is that this has the straight across bolt holes and not the offset ones, because for some reason the 4.3s come from the factory with a 168 tooth flywheel instead of 153. So can't put that on yet because I don't have the right bolts, but I did get my billet distributor out. Don't mind these castings here, it's obviously billet. I'm gonna go ahead and pop the cap off of it and maybe set it down in the engine. I got the marks lined up and I was on the compression stroke on number 1, so I should be able to set it down in there and maybe even get it in the right spot. Alright, got the cap off, marked where number 1 is so I can line it up with my distributor, because you know I like to maybe not have to do this 7 or 8 times. So put some oil on the gear just in case. That's not quite right. Whoops. Let's see if we can turn the motor a little bit. I'll get the oil pump lined up. Alright, it took quite a bit of wiggling of the crank back and forth, but I finally got it lined up. It's a little bit further that way than I wanted it, but I'm going to set this nice two-tone blue cap on here. My number 1 is lined up with where my rotor is, so it should work fine. I don't have a lot of stuff in the way up here. This will go on here. Might take that back off later. I'm debating whether or not I'm going to prime the oiling system on this since it's been sitting for so long. Probably will. Have to go get the tool from my dad's house. But yeah, distributor's on it. I gotta get these valve covers off, take them into the shop with the parts washer and clean them up because they're real nasty before they get painted. But yeah, just gonna get some bolts for the carburetor. This choke is heat operated, turns out, not electric, so probably gonna take this off and this other piece of linkage that runs it, and then I'll just leave this little cam on here, and I'll hook my choke cable into that so I can choke it. So shouldn't be too big of a deal. All right, got the valve covers back. Took them to work and cleaned them up in the parts washer. They came pretty clean. I'll hit them with a little bit of brake clean and get the rest of the stuff that didn't come off of there. I also got the oil filter on. It called for this is a Napa part number 21036. It called for the 040, which is about this tall, so I figured I'd run the bigger one on there, give it a little more capacity. I think these call for 4.5 quarts, but I'll probably just run 5 in there because that's how many quarts come in a jug of oil. But getting a little closer on it. I got to get some bolts for the carburetor. The carburetor gasket only has 2 holes in it, so I'm not sure if it'll work like that or if it's going to have a vacuum leak. This is some sort of rubbery plastic coating on this gasket, so I might try it with 2, and if it has a vacuum leak, I'll just cut some more holes in it and bolt down all 4 corners, I guess. But I modified the carburetor by removing all of the automatic choke stuff. I'll just hook my choke cable right to this, and I trimmed off the lower part of the throttle linkage, which would have originally been for the kickdown for the transmission, but we don't need that where we're going. So she sits on there. Oops. Pretty good, but still got to get some bolts. I have bolts that are long enough, but they're got to have an Allen head in there, I guess, because there's no way you'd get a socket in there to turn it or a wrench. But all right, we're out here in the shed working on the motor. I've got about as much as I can do done with the motor on the stand. I got to get the rear main seal changed, and then I'm going to try to get my flywheel and clutch and pressure plate and everything bolted on. Hopefully that'll work out. Got me a new addition to the shed. I've got a 2,500 pound winch bolted to my joists up there that I tripled it up, so I got 3 2x6s. Should be plenty to hold this up. If not, you'll be the second one to know after me. But yeah, I'm gonna hook this up and see if it'll pick it up without collapsing my building. Got a knockoff Milwaukee battery here. It's gonna power the winch, hopefully. Use the knockoff battery just in case it burns up. It doesn't tear up a good battery. She's flexing a little bit, but that'll be okay. can just set it down, hopefully. Oh yeah, nice and gentle. All right, back here on the back side of the motor. Probably gonna have to wait a few minutes, maybe an hour. There's a lot of frost and condensation on the back of this thing, so probably let this little heater run. It's on low, but it's already like 65 degrees in here, so probably let this run for a little while, melt some of this frost and condensation off, then we'll come back in, throw in the rear main seal. Bought some bolts and some Loctite for the flywheel bolts. Yeah, and I even brought a torque wrench, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, got the new rear main seal here. It's got like this little cone thing it goes in. I assume that's so that this inner lip doesn't fold over backwards when you're putting it on, so I probably won't record putting this in because it's probably going to take both hands and I'll be in the way of what I'm actually doing. But got me a little cap full of oil. I'm going to oil up the seal in the back of the crank and jam it in there. Screwdriver, mostly unharmed. Went ahead and bolted the carburetor onto this thing just because I finally got some bolts for it. For now, it's kind of chilly. Got my heater going. I'm going to work on cleaning this up some more, get all these bolts that aren't being used out of the heads, and I'm going to clean this up because I think my next step is going to be trying to paint this thing, because I want to paint it before it goes into the engine cradle adapter thing. So I want to be able to get to all the nooks and crannies. So yeah, we'll get some brake clean and some rags and clean it up as best I can. Alright, we got the motor cleaned up for the most part. Gonna go ahead and put some paint on it. It's kind of hanging here from my little winch, so we're gonna stay on this side of the loft up there in case it decides it wants to no longer be attached. So I got me some Ford red paint because that's what color we're going with. We're gonna go Ford red on the Chevy. Might make it run worse, but that's okay. Yeah, so we'll get to painting. Alright, got the motor painted. It's very red, probably the ugliest Chevrolet motor I've ever painted. They say to do this in a well-ventilated area. Turns out this shed's not well ventilated, so I'm gonna go outside for a little while and let the fumes die down because it's real strong in here. Alright, got the motor out here. I did a little test fitting on the adapter plate, which is actually outside right now because I had to modify it slightly. Not sure if it's just a little bit different because this is a newer style motor than probably what the kit was made for. So I had to notch these out just a little bit here on both sides and on the bottom to clear the, the oil pan. Also, it's a super tight fit, so I had to actually knock the dowels out of the motor. So I assume you put those back in to get everything lined up square once you have the plate on. So I'm gonna let this thing cool down. I'm gonna clean these edges up just a little bit because they're still kind of sharp, and then we're going to try to test fit it again. All right, we just about got it. I didn't record putting it in because I didn't want some safety Nazi coming in here complaining about my winch making my ceiling shake whenever I'm raising and lowering it. But basically I got it started on there and it's a real tight fit, so then I set wood blocks under each end so that the motor can fall down through it. We still got to line it up just a little bit, but we're getting real close, so I might try to punch the dowels in. I've got some implement paint to paint this with, but it's just brush paint, so I'll probably just brush it on later. And if you hear any noise, it's because we've got some baby chickens over here, but we're gonna keep working on this motor and try to get it ready to stick on that tractor one of these days. All right, we got the back part put back together. There's got 4 plates that bolt together, well 3 plates in the original is there, and that gives you your depth. I went ahead and put the flywheel back on and torqued it back down. I went to put the starter back on. It says you can use 2 different starters on it. There's this one, which this isn't the exact part number, but the part number on Summit that they give you comes up for like the starter off like a 95 Buick or Caprice with the V8 in it. So I ordered a different one off eBay that's the same starter, but this hits the end of the nose cone there. It hits on the back side of this back plate. So I'm debating on whether or not I'm going to just notch this plate out a little bit to fit the starter, or I can put this starter on the El Camino, because the starter on it has a little problem. When it gets real hot, it doesn't like to start, but might do better on a V6. And the starter that's on the El Camino is a gear drive mini starter, which is the other option because they don't have the nose cone to run into that. So we'll figure that out later. That's probably gonna do it for this video. Just waiting on a few more parts to come in and another nice day, and we'll probably try to get this painted and slap it on the front of the old tractor sitting outside.